Oh, hey folks, and is everything? Yes, I'm on my laptop today, which makes a change. Um, and I thought I'd talk a little bit about getting back to basics and starting all over again, starting from scratch, which is something that I did mention in one of my recent. What's that on there? Oh, I don't know what that is. Close that. Which is something that I mentioned on one of my recent lives, just about getting back to basics after the new year. So that's what we're going to talk about today, and some of the things that I've been doing today. I'm still a little bit. This morning, I've just saged the house, which is something that I've been putting off since sort of like New Year. It's taken me today to get around to it because I've just been that busy. Um, Sorry, I'm not being ignorant, but I'm just replying to this message. There we go. So I probably was being a little bit ignorant, but hey, ho, that's that done now. So yeah. So I did mention about getting back to basics and some of the things that I've been doing, and some of the things that actually some of you guys, the subscribers, the viewers, the watchers of the channel as well, have also said that you've been in the comments that you've been getting back to doing things that you haven't done for such a long time. You've been getting back to basics. So there's obviously there's something in this. And especially with this time of year, when you're getting into January, it's kind of like, what do we do? Where do we go from here? You're a little bit. Everyone's always a little bit kind of out of sorts because of got Christmas, you got New Year. We just had a full moon as well, a very powerful super moon, which I'm sure many of you have probably felt at some point. Morning, Sonia. Um, so yeah, so again, it's just that time of the year. It's kind of like these cycles that we go through. And so for me, it's brought up a lot of stuff that I used to do, um, and have probably not really done or not used or not connected to for quite a while, such as using crystals, and really getting back into them and doing some crystal meditations, doing a bit of crystal healing, alongside some Reiki, getting back into daily meditations, which for a couple of weeks over Christmas, with so much work, I just couldn't kind of like fit it into my day. I know, naughty Ian, because I'm the one that's always saying you will be able to find time in your day to be able to do it, even if it's 5, 10 minutes. Um, but I suppose part of the difference for me, and I'm not trying to make an excuse here, but part of the difference for me is I do tend to live more mindfully. So I do tend to be more aware of my thoughts. I do tend to be more aware of my breathing. I do tend to be more aware of the things that I'm doing with more of a mindful aspect, rather than just doing things willy nilly and you're not really paying much attention to it, which I think a lot of people do that. Um, and that's part and parcel of life, I suppose, on some respect. That we just kind of like go along with the journey. We go along with whatever is going on, whatever's taking place. So yeah, so crystals, getting back to my meditation, getting back to daily Reiki and doing multiple Reiki sessions on myself each day. Getting back into actually just the other day, I used one of my singing bowls. I did a couple of short videos on the channel, so and I really felt a good shift with using them as well. And also this morning, like I just mentioned, I've just saged the house. So I've just been around the home and been around all the rooms, saged all the rooms, and done a good cleansing around the home with the sage. And I can feel the shift. It's really weird how it works. Um, I don't know if anybody that watches this, if you do sage your home, do you notice the difference straight away? Does it take you a little bit of a while? How does it work for you? Um, and what else? What else I've been getting into? Um, I think as well, just being more consciously aware of where my energy is, what I'm feeling, what my energy is doing, who am I sort of like allowing into my energy, where are my thoughts going? What am I thinking? Just being consciously aware on that level. So, if that resonates, on some level, then give us some loves, give us a thumbs up. I've already had a thumbs up, so thank you. That's probably from Sonia because there's only you in. I'll give myself some loves because I can actually do that on the laptop. I can actually click the heart button. And I know Sonia as well, like talking to you recently as well, and obviously I saw you yesterday. Um, and you're getting back into that as well, getting back into your own practice, getting back into that, your daily meditations, using a lot of my videos as well, which is really lovely. So thank you very much for adding some views onto those videos. And so if you're ever wondering about meditation, about how you can incorporate meditation into your life, into building a spiritual practice, then head over to there's a couple of my playlists actually that you can check out. The first one would be my meditation playlist. So that's the one Sonia is currently using. So there's just loads and loads of meditations on there. There's hypnosis sessions, client hypnosis sessions, all sorts of that sort of stuff. So go and have a look over that. If you feel drawn to the meditations as well vary in length, so it's not all about long meditations. There's some shorter meditations for like sort of beginners, for just starting out. There's videos about meditation, so it's more like me explaining what you need to be kind of like looking for or not looking for really in when we're in meditation, but just little pointers for you to be aware of. Also, my other playlist. So there's two playlists which are more spiritually minded. So there's the spiritual tools playlist and the spiritual awakening playlist. Both probably have some similar videos in because a lot of the information does cross over. But one of them is specifically about your spiritual tools, such as using crystals, using sage, using Palo Santo, using meditation techniques, using visualization, working with your chakras, all that sort of stuff is in that playlist. Whereas your spiritual awakening playlist is more about levels of healing. It's more about energy. It's more about energy healing, and being more spiritually aware and developing yourself more spiritually as well. So if that sounds like something as well that you feel drawn towards, then go and check out them playlists. And have a look at my other playlists. I think I've got quite a few on the channel now. I've got a mental health focused one now, where it is basically more focused around mental health and being able to support you on your journey with mental health. So again, some meditations are included on that, and we've also got the art playlist. So there's some of my lives where I've done painting, or some of my short videos that I've done where I've done some of this artwork in the past. I've done videos on that, so you can watch how I do that and the progress that we make through that as well. So yeah, check them out anyway. But today's live, we're talking more about getting back to basics, the new year, new you, all that sort of philosophy that we get into. And we all do it. We all go down there. We all start somewhere, but I think especially when we've just had a very powerful full moon on a new year, this wonderful, wonderful portal for things to happen. And it takes us back. Well, for me personally, it took me back to the early days of where I began my journey in my mid to late 20s. So some of the meditations that I was listening to was stuff that I was listening to back then. So there was ASMR, there was chakra meditations that I've been listening to, Jason Stevenson meditations, things like that. So there's been that's interesting. Yeah, that's true. That's Sonia. Yeah, you don't want to be a new me. I'd rather be improving myself. Yeah, absolutely. That's a really valid point as well. It's not about changing who you are, but it's just about kind of developing where you are, or where you were, and where you're moving to. Which is that in itself is a very spiritual way of working. So it's going in this cyclical manner. So yeah, so like I said this morning, I did some saging, sage the house, and that's something again. I haven't really done for quite a while. Probably the last one that I did. I mean, I know people say you should sage every full moon, do a fire ceremony, do this, do that, um, put your crystals out, do meditation. Um, yeah, but it's trying to fit it all in, isn't it? It can be quite difficult trying to fit everything in. Um, so yeah, but anyway, today that's what I did just to get back to that. So when we think about, starting a spiritual journey or wanting to start and do something on a more um, spiritual mindset, where do we begin? What do we start with? How do we actually? Is it something that how do we know it's something that we want to do? How do we know it's somewhere that we want to be? Or we want to maybe feel into? How do we know that? How do we know for sure? That's better. I can actually see. I can actually see better now. Um, Demetrix George, I want to fully step into my soul purpose. Good, good. So now it's understanding now what your soul purpose is. Do you have an awareness of what your soul purpose is? Do you feel drawn towards anything specifically for you? I can tell I've been saging because I'm really struggling to breathe because it's just clearing all the crap. Yeah. So that for me, it brings up a really great question for maybe for a lot of people that might tune into this on a later date. But how do you discover your soul purpose? And I think a lot of the time, if we're not on a soul journey and we aren't following a soul purpose, or we have no inclination of a soul purpose, which is where I was, I had no inclination of doing anything of this nature. Sometimes we get pushed by the universe to have to discover it. And that's what happened for me. I was kind of pushed into a place where I had to either um, sink or swim, basically, and try and learn more about myself, learn more about my own path, what was causing the different things, and that pushed me onto the path of meditation and Reiki and opening up so many other different pathways, and including YouTube as well, which is another great platform to actually voice some of the things that I've experienced and some of the things that I've been through to be able to share and maybe help someone along the way on their journey. Um, I believe my sole purpose is to help others fall back into alignment with Mother Earth. Beautiful, beautiful. That's really, really lovely. There's a lot of that. There is a lot of that happening right now. And there is a lot of people that are getting more in tune with nature, are getting more in tune with the aspect because nature is us and we're a part of nature. We coexist, and we intermingle, and we're I think I was going to say if you didn't have one, the other would fail. But nature would thrive without humanity. I think nature would just carry on and do what it needs to do. The same as the earth. The earth would carry on and do what it needs to do. It's only really through a lot of our own interference that creates these things. So the more people that understand the earth, the more people that understand um, moon cycles, nature, trees, wildlife, animal life, and the cyclical nature of nature itself, the more people that know that and connect to it and understand the power of nature, um, then start to understand that actually we need nature to survive. Nature holds us, Mother Earth holds us, and we are just kind of existing within that. The way we get kind of like lost in the realms of things is the way the systems that are in place that create this false this false prison or this false mindset. The things that are in place to create that, that is the illusion that many of us have to try and either step through and understand and have a clearer connection to what it really is and why it's there, and learn to sort of again coexist with it, being a part of nature. We coexist with it and we understand it, but we don't fall into the patterns, and keeping it and ourselves at a healthy distance. And that is something, like I mentioned earlier on in this live, about when we're starting a new journey and we're starting a spiritual journey and we're going back to basics, you're going back to working with your own energy again. You're understanding your own energy. You're understanding where your energy is going, who you're giving your energy to, who you're opening yourself up to, um, and also the energy that potentially you could be taking on. Um, Not that we do really kind of take on energy, and I don't really agree with the concept of vampires, but I think it's all about like discernment really, and discernment of where our energy is going. It really is. Issy or Al, morning, 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 morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Dimitri, I love all life, and this hurts and makes me sad when I see so much pain and suffering happening. Absolutely, it is heartbreaking. It really is, and you think, when I see a lot of stuff, where the effects of man, of greed, of what they're having on nature, having to build multiple acres of properties, to um, for people fleeing whatever or moving to another country, and then we're having to try and like house them, like what a lot of is going on in the UK. You see a lot of greenland, you see a lot of lush woodland and forests, um, at risk. Luckily there is a lot of people that are standing up for nature and standing up for the land that we have. Um, but unfortunately, for many of those people as well, as we see throughout the world, through Hollywood and places like that, people can be bought. There is a price for a lot of people, and it's sad. It's sad to see it. It's sad to experience that, and that as well is another element of um, is having a discernment with that as well. Because if we get too involved and too wound into it, then it starts to really affect our own energy. And from our own energy, only then can we really provide more service for the earth. So if we let things affect our energy and bring us down, and we feel like we're suffering because the earth is suffering, even though we are on some level because we're damaging ourselves, because we need nature, like I mentioned earlier. Um, but if we allow it to bring us down, and we don't see the beauty of how actually nature evolves, nature changes so much quicker than what we do. And like I just said earlier, if we were all made extinct and we were no longer here on this planet, nature would thrive. It really would. And I'm sure the universe, God, would put something else in place, to, I don't know, maybe bring control measures in. I don't know. I really don't know how it works, how the divine plan works, but I'm sure something would happen. Um, and but it's really lovely that that's what you're doing and that's what you feel your sole purpose is, Dimitri, because getting people to understand nature and wildlife on a much deeper level, um, will it gives people the knowledge and the wisdom and the ammunition to then help others, and help others to become more aware. And even through, through the Reiki principles, the Buddhist practices, the things that we use within Reiki, is one of them being compassionate to all life, or being kind to all life, and not killing anything. It's just allow. I mean, I had even probably maybe 6 months ago now. They were doing some drain works up the street. So I live in quite a heavy residential area. It's very mixed culturally. There's a lot of different uh, ethnicities and what have you. But they were doing some roadworks up to the end of the street, and it was on the sewers and things like that. And then probably as they were going on with that, there was suddenly lots of these sightings of rats and things in the area. Um, and straight away, people are talking about like killing them and this, that, and the other. And I was like, well, I know, yeah, if they're carrying the fleas that spread plague, yeah, it can have a hazardous effect on the human population. But we actually got one out the back here, and to be honest with you, it scared the shit out of me. I didn't I didn't enjoy having it there, and I was a little bit on edge. I was a little bit apprehensive every time I let the dogs out the back, or even if like I went out the back um, to put the rubbish out, put the bins out, put the recycling out, whatever. I was thinking to be like, where is it? Where is it now? But I think a lot of the time it was coming from the lane or it was coming from a neighbour or whatever. I don't really know. But when somebody, I think it was the neighbour, phoned me and said, "Oh, there's a rat just gone in your backyard." I said, "Oh, bloody hell!" So I put my big gardening gloves on, and I went out with like a broom shank, like Gandalf, um, and went out in the yard. And I thought, right, I'll go and see if I can find it and kind of like shoo it away, and try and get it out. And just seeing some laughy faces going up there. None shall pass. So I went out, and then I went out and I closed the door behind me, and I heard this rustling around by the bins, and I thought, oh shit, it's there. Because inside me, I was hoping it had gone. We've totally gone off topic here, but what the hell? So anyway, I went round to the bin, and I could see where there was a bit of bin bag had been kind of like pulled out from the bin. So I was like, oh, it's obviously trying to have a go at the bins. So I thought, well, is it in the bin? Anyway, I looked in, couldn't see anything rustling around in there. So I moved some stuff around, moved the bins around, and then I noticed it behind like a plant pot. It was just there, and it was sort of like frozen still. So I thought, right, I'll just put the broom shank down. I wasn't going to sort of like hurt it, but I just thought, right, I'll give it a nudge and see what happens. So, so I give it a nudge, and it shot out, and it ran over my foot, and then ran and hid in the bushes on the other side of the yard. I thought, oh shit, it's over there now. Now, there's a point I want to bring up here. You know, when people say that you see a mouse or a rat and you just scream, you go, ah! You don't scream. When it runs at you and it runs over your foot, you go, that's what you do. That's the noise that you make. Because that's what I did. That was my instant reaction. It was, oh, ugh. So anyway, yeah, there we are. That's what happened. So, hello, Howard. Welcome. Dimitri, I just want to other humans to see life in nature and all things and how precious the earth is and everything living. Absolutely. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep following that dream. Keep following that passion. Keep following that soul journey, and it will be so. It will emerge. It will happen. Yeah. There's a lot of there's a few people around my way. There's a guy called the Conscious Self, who's in County Durham, and he does a lot of forest stuff, forest bathing, wild river swimming, sort of shamanic drum ceremonies and that sort of stuff. So maybe that would be something good for you to get into as well, just to experience and just be in nature and meditate in nature, the powerful connection that we have when we are in nature. So yeah, anyway, it's no longer there. You'll be pleased to hear the rat is no longer there. It has gone. I don't know where it's gone, but it has gone. So panic over. So I don't need to go out so apprehensively outside anymore. Yeah, I would say it's a natural reaction as well. Absolutely. So yeah, we went slightly off topic there. So yeah, so we were talking about getting back to basics and starting your spiritual journey. So where would we begin? Obviously, Dimitri's already mentioned about like his soul journey and wanting to get more into his soul journey. Um, but where do we begin? Where would we have to actually find that out? So for me, how that came to be um, would be through meditation, and I think it's only through meditation that you're able to sort of train the mind a little bit, calm everything down, and then you start to understand yourself. And once you start to understand yourself on a deeper spiritual level, on a deeper knowing and a deeper awareness of where you are, your thoughts, your emotions, what's going on, are you settled? Is your energy all over the place? Do you need to balance? Do you need to get some healing? Do you need to work on just balancing that stuff? Then you know that's something that maybe you need to work on, or get in touch with me for some remote healing or whatever. But that's not a sales pitch. That's just a little bit of a push it in there as well at the same time. Um, but for me, yeah, meditation that really gave me, and I talk about this all the time, but it really gave me the clarity of mind that I needed. It really made me so much more aware, consciously aware of the people that were around me, the energy of the people that were around me, the energy of myself. It made me more aware of my thoughts. It made me more aware of how overactive my thinking was. It made me more aware that I need to try and be able to learn how to calm this down. And once you learn how to calm that down and calm your energy down, then you learn more about yourself and you're starting to go on deeper layers within. And it's a journey. We always say it's not a cliche, it really is a journey. And it can take time, it can take months to actually get into a healthy, balanced meditation practice. And then it can take years before you even sort of see the vast results from your meditation. And then after so many years, it gives you a chance to then reflect where you were, where you started, where you are now, the journey that's happened, the journey that's been. You look at all your pitfalls, you look at all your little mistakes, all the little errors, and you think, actually, if I didn't have those mistakes and I didn't have those errors, I wouldn't have learned that, and I wouldn't have done that, and I wouldn't have been able to experience that. So now I know more about that now. So that's how it becomes more of a spiritual journey, because your self-development and your self-awareness is intrinsically interwoven within that, within your meditation practice. So it is massively important. So for me, that's what I would say would be a starting point. From there, different things will come into your awareness. Different things will come into your own vibrational field of what you feel drawn to. So between me learning meditation and then learning Reiki, um, all these different things were coming in and out of my sort of vibrational field: crystals, oracle cards, tarot, sage, palo santo, incense, singing bowls, sound healing, all this sort of stuff that was coming into my reality. And some of it I was picking up on, and some of it I wasn't. It just kind of like passed me by, and then it sort of came back to me at a later date, and then that's when I kind of like knew, okay, so already seen this once, and it's come back around again. So maybe there's something within that. There's something I need to be aware of. And it's only through this is where the meditation is so important. It's only through the meditation and the calming of the mind and understanding the energy and understanding yourself that you then become consciously aware of things that are going on, things that you start to see. Now, a lot of people, when they start a spiritual journey or they start meditating or they start sort of working vibrationally, what will then happen is they start seeing synchronicities. They will start seeing numbers. They will start thinking about people, and they will either phone them, they'll text them, they'll bump into them that day, whatever. All of these little things start to take place. The reason why that happens is because you've started tuning into your energy. through a meditation practice or whatever practice it might be. For me, it was meditation, and that's the reason why it's happening, because you're becoming more aware. Once you start to become more aware, then you realize, oh, I was just thinking of them the other day, and there they are. Oh, what's that number mean? Oh, let's search that and look for that, and we'll Google it. And oh, there's this thing about angel numbers. What's that all about? Oh, there's this thing about numerology. What's all that all about? And you start getting pushed into little different avenues of information, of awareness, of seeking, of looking, all these little rabbit holes, and that's the journey that you kind of go down. Or I did, and some rabbit holes I kind of like stuck in for a little bit too long. Other rabbit holes I got to, and I was like, doesn't really resonate with me. Let's just bypass that and go somewhere else. If it needs to, it'll come back to me at a later date, as previous stuff has done before in the past. So yeah, so through your meditation practice, you then become more aware of these things happening. And if you don't meditate and you're not consciously aware of things happening, and you're just going through life, you're doing your 9 to 5, you eat, sleep, repeat routine. You don't really think about this. You don't think about, oh, my phone said 11:11. Oh yeah, I did that yesterday as well. Oh, it's just one of them things. It's just a coincidence. Until you start doing that and you become more aware and you start tuning into something and tapping in somewhere, you then realize, actually, I saw that 3 times now on my phone. Every time I've picked my phone up, it said 11:11. I'm going to look into that. What does that mean? And then you start searching for people that may be having similar experiences, or you'll think about something where 11:11 on the clock. I've just looked there. Thank you, son. You just posted there. Or like what happens with me a lot is I'll think of someone or something, and then it'll be there. It'll be in my reality. So here's a really bizarre, for instance. When I was in the job that I'm in now, when I was in it before, because I've gone back to that job, I just randomly started thinking of a guy that used to work in a supermarket many years ago that actually me and Sonia used to work at. See, it's all coming out now. You see, Sonia's seeing 66 on a battery. Howard sees 333 a lot, and 222, and 888. AC Al has been seeing 44 a lot. So there you go. It's only when you bring it to someone's consciousness that then you realize, yeah, I've been seeing that a lot, and that's what's happening. You're just opening up your awareness, and yeah. So I was thinking of this guy that used to work in a supermarket in a bakery department years and years and years ago, and he lived in a different town, and I hadn't seen him for over 20 years. And just randomly one day, and I thought, I wonder how he's getting on. I wonder where he is. I wonder if he's still alive. I didn't know. And then the next day, he walked into the shop. I'm like, wow. And I hadn't, this guy doesn't live in town, or he didn't live in town. Haven't seen him for over 20 years. Then he wanders in. I'm just like, crazy. It really is bizarre how this stuff happens, but it just does. And it's just because you're opening your awareness, you're stepping into a different frequency, and that's why all this stuff starts firing up. So as soon as you make that conscious decision and that conscious effort that you want to change something, you want to transform, and you start doing something, it will bring something to you. So it'll either bring something to you to say, no, that's not what you need to do. If you start feeling a lot of resistance, if things are sort of in your way and you're not feeling like a clear path, then that's the universe saying, no, this isn't the one. So this is where you have to kind of like do a little bit of Aikido, and you have to kind of like work with that energy and go around it and just see, okay, that's not the right one. Let's just step aside, let that pass, and see what else comes forward. numbers are synchronistic languages. Well, yeah, I mean, when you think about it, the universe is built on numbers, so there's meaning behind it. And I mean, I've had a few people over the years that have done numerology readings for me, and they've been scarily accurate. But that's because everything has a meaning. So your name is a number. So every letter of your name has a meaning, which comes to like your destiny number or your life path number. The date, the year that you were born is a life path number, and that gives you a message, an indication of who you are and the journey you're going to be on. Um, and it's only really, again, through raising your awareness, through studying the mind, the meditation practices, the mindfulness, that then you become openly accepting and aware to that. So uh, so Howard's life path is 9. Oh, uh, Sonia. Ooh, interesting. Um, my date of birth gives 33. So then you add the two numbers together, you get 6. So your life path number is 6. Um, Dimitri, nothing really interests me anymore. I've become so detached from everything and everyone. The only thing that excites me is literally being in nature, surrounded by animals, insects, and good loving people. Bravo. Bravo. That's beautiful. That's really beautiful. I get a little bit like that, to be fair myself, and I don't really. The only time I really get sort of interested in anything is anything that I feel is feeding my heart, feeding my soul. So, love, connection, art, music, um, being able to help people, and trying to share what I can to support people on their journey as well. So yeah, um, yeah, that's where my kind of like, yeah, that's what excites me. Um, Definitely. And then it's just, and these conversations as well, these conversations that we have here, where these you sort of like step out of the norm conversation, like, oh, what did you do yesterday? What was for tea? What did you have for your tea? How are you? Oh, the weather's been shit lately, hasn't it? Yeah, yeah. And you just like, I hate small talk. I hate like anything like that. I'd rather talk to someone about how their energy feels or how the room feels, or talk about crystals or any. So when someone at work, if they pick a book and they buy a book about uh, witchcraft or Wicca or crystals or something like that, I'm like, oh, it excites me because someone's in there, someone's switched on, or wanting to be switched on. Um, uh, you see, I thought that 3 at 33 was a master number, that you don't go to single number. See, I always came to the conclusion. So yeah, so 33 is your master number, but then what I always thought, or what I've always done, is I've added the two numbers together. So your life path number will always be a single number, that you come to. So if your date of birth comes to, so mine comes to 1, comes to 10, but obviously you don't count the 0, you just count the 1. So my life path is 1. Um, but if it was, say, like 48, you would add the two together, you get 12. So there's your master number. And then you would add them together, and 2 and 1 obviously makes 3. So there's your life path number. So how do you work it out? So you work it out by basically looking at your date of birth. So it's the day, the month, and the year, and it'll be the 19 as well, or 2000. When I know yours will be 19, but so obviously mine is 4th of June 1980. So you would work. So your 4 and your obviously your 4 and your 6 is 10, and then you've got So that's your 1. Then you've got 1980, so you've got 9, 10, 8, 9. There's another 1 left over somewhere. But I know mine comes to 1 somehow. I can't remember how. I'd need to write it down because I can't work it out in my head. But yeah, but that's how you do it. So you work it all out that way. And then to find out your destiny number, you would write your name down. And so you would write your full name down. You can include a middle name if you want to, if you use it. If you don't, just leave it. And so each letter will correspond to a letter of the alphabet, obviously. So you've got A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, and so on and so forth. So you would find out the value of each letter, and then you'll add them all up at the end. And then if you've got like 2, 3 numbers at the end or whatever, then you would add them all together, and that will give you your destiny number as well. So then you'd have a life path number and a destiny number, and they will both give you an individual indication of your journey, of what you need to experience and where you need to go and what you need to do, or what you can do. Again, the other thing as well is we have free choice on some level as well. So we can do whatever we want to a degree, because it depends on where you are mentally and emotionally. Depends on where you are within your confidence, within your mindset. So there's a lot to take place within that as well. So Sonia, 5th of Jan, because it was just your birthday, wasn't it? So 1978. So 5, 6, 9, 10, that's 16, 23, 30, 31, is that? That's 31, 3, 1, 4. So I think that's life path 4, I think, off the top of my head. And then you would have to kind of like do a bit of Googling or search it or whatever and find out what that means. And then you find out a little bit more about yourself. So life path 4 in numerology signifies the builder, representing hard work, discipline, practicality, and responsibility, focusing on creating stability and foundations through methodical effort, organization, and loyalty. Though potential challenges include rigidity and resistance to change, with strengths in areas like engineering, finance, or craftsmanship, where structure is key. So there you go. Your core traits: hardworking and disciplined, practical and reliable, organized and meticulous, loyal and responsible. So there you go. I used to remember them all off the top of my head, but I haven't got a clue anymore. You just kind of like forget stuff. So life path 9 for, if he's still here, Howard. Was that life path 9? Did you say? I can't. Yes, life path 9. In numerology signifies the humanitarian, characterized by deep compassion, idealism, wisdom, and a strong desire to serve others and make the world a better place. Often drawn to careers in helping fields, but needing to balance selflessness with personal needs and find focus and avoid getting lost in emotional drama. They are visionary, creative, and see the bigger picture, symbolizing completion as the last digit number, yet must learn to finish projects and ask for help when needed. Your traits: compassionate and idealistic, humanitarian, wise and creative, and completion. So there you go, Howard. Yes, you are still here. So, and I don't even know you, but from speaking to you in the chat, and on the lives over the short period of time that you have been here, I think that does fit quite well with you. You're also a novice shaman. Excellent. So another person that one is connecting deeper to nature and to the earth, like Dimitri. So learning about shamanism and the elements and spiritual elements and the various realms and worlds that we reside or can move to. So yeah, I appreciate you too as well, Howard. So thank you for being here, and thank you for sharing some of your wisdom as well in the chat when you have been here. Um, it's really lovely to connect with so many like-minded people and like-minded souls. Um, yeah, so I just did a meditation yesterday. Well, last couple of days I've done some new meditations on the channel. So if you remember, you can get early access to them. And so one is a chakra meditation, one is a PTSD meditation, and the other one is a sleep meditation. And I did them all through an app on Microsoft called Clipchamp, which I normally use for long form videos, for when I'm doing meditation videos, sorry. And but I recently discovered on Clipchamp as well that they have a lot of they have a catalog of music and media and stuff that you can use. And I always thought it was all for premium users only. But I actually discovered some that isn't premium user only, and you can actually use it. So I found some lovely, lovely music, and it's probably like a minute and a half long. So it's like a an audio bite or whatever they call it. I don't know what the term is for it. But it's only for like a minute and a half long. So I just kind of like reduplicate that and make the longer video, then put some images over it, and then I'll do the meditation. I'll do the guided meditation. I'll use a script or just allow it to flow through me. And then I'll put whatever graphic I need to, whether texts or subscribe buttons and all that sort of stuff on the video. And yeah, so they will be coming out in January. January, I think from around about the where are we? Well, we're in January now, aren't we? So I think from the 16th. So I've got 3 long form videos every Friday. Then I've just done a new video as well, which will come out on a Monday, which is about getting your first few clients with Reiki or some sort of healing modality, and just sharing a little bit of my knowledge of what I've gained over the last few years. Dimitri, I was thinking sounds like it's describing me. So maybe you are as well. Maybe you're a life path 9 as well. I know, like when I did dip into astrology a little bit, and I looked at my rising, so like rising sun and all that sort of stuff. And I looked at the dates of when I was supposed to be born. And so I was born on the 4th of June, but the 3rd of June represented me more clearly. So and then I thought, I wonder if I was meant to be born a day earlier, but I wasn't. I was born a day later. But hey ho, it is what it is. I can't change that now, can I? So yeah, it's really interesting now, and I think when we start looking at the depths of kind of like who we are and self exploration. Oh, you're the 3rd of June. Oh, hello, fellow Gemini Al. That's nice. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet another Gemini. My brother's a Gemini as well. He was born the 10th, but there's 5 years between us. He's older. He's older than me. And I'll be seeing him shortly. So I have been told I was born on my due date. That's good. I don't, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with that information, but that is good. Yes, well done. Um, yeah, it just makes you think, doesn't it? You're close to my brother in age. Yeah, yeah. So he's 50 now. I'm 45, but yeah, I'm going over. I've got some stuff to take to the charity shop because we've been out. We had a bit of a clear out after Christmas and New Year. We're putting stuff away, and we've got a few new bits of clothes and what have you. We were born 1968, right? My brother was born 1975, and then obviously I was born 1980. Um, yeah, so we've kind of like we had to chuck some stuff, and then there's some stuff that is going to charity. So I'm going to go and get the rest of that bagged up, and then that's my another morning job done. So I've staged the house. I've done some housework. I'm getting rid of some rubbish. I've got rid of some get rid of some charity stuff. I've done a YouTube live, and then I'm going over to my brother's, and then we're going over to my mother's, and then tonight I'm coaching at the gym uh, for the boot camp, and then tonight I can sit back and relax. I'm a 97 babe. I fall in the Cancer and Leo cusp. Ooh, interesting. My dad's a Cancer. So it's Gemini, Cancer, Leo, isn't it? Yeah, that's what. That must be like around July, is it? End of July, early August, I think. Well, no, end of July-ish, I think. So yeah, it's been a relatively productive day. So yeah, I just thought I'd pop on, um, do a quick live, catch up with anybody that's not seen me, just to let you know that I am still here. I've just been a little bit busy. I've had things on, trying to get some more videos caught up with and backed up with and scheduled to go for the members and then for you guys as well that aren't members to see when they do get released. Really difficult at the minute with YouTube, trying to get views, trying to get subscribers, trying to get interest. It just seems to be like pulling teeth at the minute, but I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. I get the occasional video that does quite well, but it is what it is. It is what it is at the end of the day. So yeah. Oh, thank you for all the loves. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I'm going to head off, but thank you for being here. Thank you for listening, tuning in. And if you're new here and you just come across the channel, please do subscribe. And I'll see you all in another video very, very soon. So do take care. Much love and have a wonderful day. Namaste and bye for now. Toodaloo.